Okay, so if you have not watched the team Zooms from last weekend and the weekend before, and even Morgan's team Zoom that Rachel and I hosted this past week, those are 3 Zooms I really, really want you to make sure that you do watch, because the content that we go over tonight is going to be helpful. It's not going to be like, if you didn't watch those, you're going to be confused about tonight, but it is going to be a really good piece to be able to piece together all the things that we're talking about. So the other weekend we talked about starting small and really, really focusing on the really small goals and why it is important to start there. And we also talked about messaging and why messaging is important, how to effectively do that and effectively do it in a timely manner. And I just want to say, like, starting from this, and I'm just kind of talking about announcements and then I'll go into what I was going to talk about. I am like beyond blown away from the tips that y'all took from the team Zooms and then applied them to your business. I swear, I'm not even joking. My phone is blowing up every single freaking day of y'all screenshots being like, hey, I have this potential distributor I'm talking to. I have this customer I'm talking to. Hey, I just posted this screenshot and I've gotten out 50 messages. Oh my gosh, my phone is blowing up. Like, it's because you're trusting the process. So if you're someone who hasn't applied the tips that we're talking about or that I talked about on the team Zooms, they're only 30-minute team Zooms, so they're not like a full hour Zoom that you have to watch. I would really advise you to go watch those, because I'm saying this from a leadership standpoint. I've seen the amount of people that are coming to me that are enrolling like crazy and that are like, okay, I thought that this business wasn't working for me, or thought that this wasn't working for me, but it just found out that it's my own efforts that I have to do. And when I do my own efforts, when I actually have the things that I like are put in my hand and I actually apply them, I can actually enroll. And so it's really cool, because now the people who are applying these steps are literally blocking themselves in for like Ruby, executive, whatever. So I'm just really freaking proud of y'all for being so coachable. And I just want to say I've seen the efforts and I know that y'all's work is paying off. And then seeing all you guys that are like, I got a pay raise. It's just really fun to see. Okay. So I want to carry that momentum going into February and then just the rest of the year. So I know for so many times for me personally, I've made the mistake of making a goal. Hold on, my timer is about to go off. I've made the personal mistake of making a goal and then getting really hyped about that goal, reaching that goal, and then just like flatlining and then being like, okay, just coasting, like what's next? That is something I don't want to happen with this team. And I've seen it happen so many times, like before with my own team, with myself, with other people, with other leaders, and honestly in other businesses, not just this business. And I don't ever want that to happen for you. So we're just going to kind of set the tone tonight for that not to happen. And I'll kind of give you, tips to be able to do that. So I have notes, but if you know me, you know they're all over the place, so just bear with me. But I was just jotting this down because I was so passionate about this. Okay, so I was reading this leadership book and it was talking about the clarity of a vision, like where that vision is going to lead you. And I'll kind of go over the tips and the points of what I want to do with that. But I know for me, I'm just going to be really real for a second. I have not promoted in over a year and a half. And I can tell you from personal experience how bad that sucks, in a sense of like, man, I really want it to happen. It's not in a bad, oh my gosh, it sucks, I suck, I'm quitting, or anything like that. Like, I don't have a nasty or bad attitude towards it. So if you're someone who is stuck in that situation too, and you're like, you know what, I haven't promoted yet, and I thought I'd be promoted by now. I've been in this business for 6.5 years. Okay, you guys. And I already told you all my story before. If you want to know it, you can text me. It took me a year to even promote to executive. So like, if you are the person that's waiting, I get it. That's me. Okay, I get it. I've been waiting a year and a half to go for our team to go presidential, and it just hasn't happened. Okay. But the process in between has been beautiful, seeing the team that we're creating, seeing the momentum that we're creating. I just know that it's going to be built to last, instead of building something and then it crumbling and then us having to rebuild again. I just know that all of y'all are going to be able to promote strong. So I am personally in that boat. I'm like, wow, I'm really sick of being stagnant. Like, I want to make more money, but it's not even about me at this point. I want to see our team go Ruby and Diamond and Emerald and above. So on my dream board, I have on my dream board written down that I want our team to at least have one new promotion every single month. I literally don't know where this vision came from. I'm going to say, obviously, God, because I'm very spiritual, but I like have been praying over it. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I'm like, I genuinely don't. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I just have confidence that it can. So I'm going to give y'all tips on how you can set yourself up for a promotion. And I'm taking these own tips for myself too. I'm actually going to apply them for myself, because I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm trying to do all the things, but now I need to get my team promoting, because that's where it gets me to where I personally want to go. And obviously when you promote to like larger levels, it's just not about you at this point. Like I said, like the promotion really isn't about me at this point. I make good money. I'm good with my money. I'm good with financial things that we want to do. Like, it's not about that. It's more of in a sense of like, a team, you have to move together. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go to the top of the company by myself. Like, that's not fun. Okay. So I want to look back and see a whole team behind me. I don't want to be like, where's everybody? You know, like, that's not fun. That sucks. Okay. So these are some tips, and it talks about leadership, and it talks about casting vision. And it says, if you are a leader of your team, then you carry the responsibility for communicating the team's vision and keeping it before people continually. That's not necessarily easy. Whenever I endeavor to cast vision with the members of my team, I use the following checklist. I try to make sure that every vision message possesses the following. And then it gives you a list. And so I'll break these down with you guys. And if you don't know John Maxwell, he's like one of the top leaders in like the US, and I think honestly in the world. Like, that's just his leadership qualities. Like, a lot of people learn from him. And he's like way older, so he's very wise and he's just very good. So he's talking about his personal experiences in here and how he's gotten to his success. So obviously success leaves clues. So I'm not just making this up. This is what he said. The number one thing is clarity, and it says clarity brings understanding to the vision. And then it says answers what the people must know and what to do with that knowledge. So this goes back to, if you have not watched the team Zooms from the 2 weeks before, and yes, last week's, we had 2 Zooms, Sunday and Monday. If you haven't watched all those, I can send you the links. If you need the links, I will go and do it. It's on YouTube as well. It's on Morgan and I's YouTube. If you don't have that, I will give it to you. Just please ask me, because I want to make sure that you have all the tools necessary in order to promote, in order to cast out your vision or whatever you need. So obviously the clarity is brought to what you even do to even get started. So we know that the 6 lists in this business, and if we have newbies, which I know we have newbies on here, or maybe you've been out of the business for a while and you decided to come back and you're not clear on the 6 list, ask me, ask your enroller, ask the person who helped you. We will get clear with you on that vision. But the 6 list is very simple. It's the basic steps we do in this business every day. You guys have proven to yourself in this past week, in the past 2 weeks, that it's not the amount of how much you burn yourself out in a day. It's not about that. It's actually just consistency. And so you've proven yourself that. So you now have the tools necessary to be able to do the business in the first place. So obviously that. The second one is connectedness. It says bring the past and the present and the future. So number one is you need to think about things and habits that you no longer want to carry within yourself. And again, that just starts back to the Zoom that I'm referring to as starting small. So it brings you back to thinking how you need to start small, where you need to start off with the habits. You just need to create a habit in the first place to show yourself that you can actually do something. So brings the past, present, and future together. So whatever in the past that doesn't serve you and hasn't served you for so long, you need to drop it. You need to leave it in the past so it can create better habits now to create the future that you want to have. So make sure you have that. Create and drop the, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this. Drop the habits that no longer serve you, that you know that aren't keeping you, or that are keeping you where you don't want to be any longer, to build the current things that you want, to build the current habits that you're wanting to be able to create the better future that you want. Okay, that was a little bit tongue twister, but it's fine. The purpose. So you have to have purpose, and it brings direction to the vision. So purpose is really diving deep into your why. A lot of you guys I've seen a lot of people who do this business, they create the goals that they want, they create the habits that they want, they make the paycheck that they want, say they want to go Ruby, they hit that Ruby again, then they fall stagnant because they've already gotten what they wanted. So you have to constantly create that purpose. I have a lot of moms who join me because they want to be able to have that more time open with their kids. They want to be able to not feel strapped to a job, be able to own their own time. That's a purpose behind something. So if you've already hit that and you're like, well, I am staying at home, so what now? Find a deeper purpose. What is your purpose in this? Is it to help people? Is it to feel that type of joy when you are helping people? Like, you have to dive down deep. And again, if you don't know what your purpose is, message me, message your enroller. I'm going to keep telling you that because I want to make sure that you're diving deep into the things and the tips that you have. I just want to make sure that you're being helped. Okay. Hopefully you know this by now. Hopefully you know I'm here to help. Your enroller's here to help. If your enroller's no longer in the business or no longer talks to you, hopefully that's not a scenario. But if they aren't, then message me and we can talk about that, because I want to help you create your purpose and find your purpose. I know my purpose here now is to help empower each and every one of you and anybody new who comes onto my team to build legacies. Like, I actually want to build legacies to where you build a legacy with your grandkids. Like, think about generations to come. I want to build a legacy so much to where my grandkids, and I know that's the thinking so far in the future because I don't even have kids yet, but that's how deep I'm thinking. Like, I want to leave a legacy to know that my grandkids are going to be set up for in the future, knowing how to work hard and how to have work ethic, but also to know that you can crush your goals, whatever. So find purpose behind that, because that's what's going to move you. goals. So that brings you back to, again, the same Team Zoom that I'm talking about, but starting small. You have to have goals, okay? So if your goal, and I'll move on to this next one. Where is that? Okay, goals and challenge. So this one has a challenge behind it. It says challenge, and it says bring stretching to the vision. So this is going hand in hand, because goals, you obviously have to set goals, but as soon as you prove to yourself that you can set that small little goal and reach it, you're going to challenge yourself a little bit more to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. That's how you get connected with more levels in this business. That's how you get connected with more people and opening up more promotions in this business. That's how you're going to do it, is constantly challenging yourself to step outside your comfort zone. You've signed a distributor for, great. Now you can prove to yourself that you can go sign 2. Now go sign 2 more. Okay, great. You've already signed 2. Now go promote to Ruby, and now go help someone else promote to Ruby. You're constantly challenging yourself to promote to new levels and new areas of thinking in your mind. So if that doesn't make sense, let me know. Honesty, this comes back to bringing back to yourself, like, what habits do you not want to do, that are no longer serving you? Be honest with yourself. A lot of y'all were honest with yourself last week. I got a lot of messages from y'all saying how you thought you were doing all the things, and then you realized that you weren't, and you had to get really honest with yourself. I got a lot of messages about that, okay, which is really good, okay? You never want to hear people, like, after you get off of Zoom, just silent crickets, It's always really good when people come to you with their feedback, and they're like, you know what, this really helped because this, and this. A lot of messages were like, you know what, I've actually been sucking. I thought I was sending a lot, but I've really only been sending like 20 messages a week. Okay. So I kind of suck. Okay. So let's like move on from this and whatever. And then now you're seeing those results. Okay. So get honest with yourself on what areas you know that you're bull crapping yourself with. Okay. You know that you keep lying to yourself with. Like, if you've told yourself a million times you're going to start a diet, but then it's 16 days. Yeah. 16 days in the month and you haven't started yet. Start with like something small. Tell yourself you're going to eat one salad like a week. Okay. Like, start somewhere different. If you know that you keep breaking this dang promise to yourself, be honest with yourself. And then stories, and it talks about stories, and it says bring relationships to the vision. So if you personally feel like you're about to accomplish, or you want to go after a goal, and you feel like it's impossible, like you feel like it is just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, I honestly don't think I can do this, that's when stories are involved. And that's either, I know for me personally, and if you're not super spiritual, that's okay. But for me, I like to read stories in the Bible of when people thought that they were going through the impossible, but God brought them through it. Those stories light me up, okay? If you aren't someone who reads the Bible and you're not someone who's really into that yet, that's fine. Go find someone in this business whose story lights you up, who you know that they've been through hell and back, or they've created this miracle that you didn't think was going to happen, and they did it anyways. Like Cheyenne Knox brought in, and if you don't know what volume is, I can always explain it, but it's equivalent to like a dollar amount basically in this business. She brought in 120,000 volume in 1 month. Okay, she didn't know how she was going to do it, but they did it as a team. Okay, that's a lot of freaking volume in 1 month. She did it, and she knew that she had God on her side, and she was like, I could do it, but I don't know how it's going to happen. And she was just confident. And that's a story that really, really lights me up, is I'm like, okay, if she can do this, I know I can bring in 60,000. We can bring in 60,000 or 20,000 as a team, whatever. Okay. So that's like stories where you're going to be able to create relationships with and build like trust with. You're going to be like, okay, if they did it, I know that I can do it. That's where stories come into play. And that's why you need to follow people in this business that inspire you. Not that you compare yourself to, but that inspire you. Okay. So moving on, the next one is passion. And it says brings fuel to the vision. So passion is obviously going to kind of be hand in hand with purpose. I get this one confused a little bit, but passion is going to bring you that excitement when you know at the end of the day, when you know you're super tired, you don't want to look at your phone, but your passion's going to be able to carry you forward, knowing, okay, I know I need to get this done, because on the other side of my excuse is going to be what's going to drive me forward in order to make this thing happen. So passion and purpose, a little bit of the same thing. And then it says modeling. You need modeling in your leadership and in the business model that you're in. So this is my number one question for you that I have for tonight, and you can kind of carry this over, is, are you shouting out your goals? And are you actually completing those goals that you shout out? Because again, they're supposed to be smaller goals at first. Are you shouting out those smaller goals, and are you completing them so you can model for others and yourself that you can actually complete these things and that you can actually do them? So that's, again, if you're someone who's been shouting out, I'm going presidential, but you've never hit a rank in this company before, maybe you need to start out at executive. Maybe you need to start out at Ruby so you can show others that you can actually do this. Maybe you just need to start off with a 4-in-1 bonus, saying, you know what, I can get 4 customers and a friend. I can do this. I can do this. Shouting it out every single day on your story, on your page, whatever. Again, if you're new, I I'm going to teach you, or your enroller is going to teach you how to build your stories and how to talk about that on your social media. People want to know that you're modeling the person that they want to either become, or that they can model, or that they can look at and be inspired by, and then can go create their own dreams. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're modeling, the visions and the dreams, and you're setting out your goals, and you're making sure that you're holding yourself accountable, which is actually going into the next one is strategy. So it talks about the last thing about casting vision is strategy. And it talks about like, what is your strategy and what is your game plan to be able to promote and to be able to move forward. So obviously the topic about this tonight is how to end this month strong, and how to like promote and how to make your goals happen. You have to have a strategy, you guys. If you don't even have your Ruby chart out, or if you haven't gotten your 4-in-1 bonus tracker out, I showed y'all this last week, but I'll show y'all again. I have my trackers out. Okay. On this side is how many bonuses I need to complete my $4,000 bonus. Up here is my 4-in-1 bonuses. Up here is customer enrollments. Up here is distributor enrollments. Over here is like fast starts that I need. Down here is who I want to promote, or what I need to promote, whatever. I have trackers in front of me, and I have a strategy of how I'm going to do it. Okay. So if you're someone that's like, oh, I'm going to go Ruby, or I'm going to promote in this company, or I'm going to get my 4 customers or whatever. Okay, you keep talking about it, but what's your actual strategy behind it? Do you actually have a strategy? And if not, that's again where you come to me, or you come to your enroller and you're like, where do I start? What do I do? How do I begin? What's my strategy? And I want us so badly to promote to presidential. And I can tell y'all, if y'all have ever looked at a presidential chart in this business, it's like, it's a lot. Okay. It's a freaking a lot. I look at it and I'm like, oh, I'm a million light years away. It's fine. Like, this person needs to promote over here. This person needs to promote over here. Oh, this person quit. Okay. I need to build this person up again. This person, it's like all over the place. But if I break it down into smaller things, and I'm like, okay, this girl needs to go Ruby. Now I need to empower her to go Ruby. This girl needs to go Diamond, blah, 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 blah. I have a strategy for who I'm working with, what I'm doing, where I'm moving my customers, whatever. I have a strategy for it. So I'm breaking it down. Okay. I'm not looking at the presidential chart. I have the presidential chart underneath me, but within that I have smaller, well, it's not in these. Yeah, it is. I have smaller little charts. Okay. Like this. So what's your strategy? And if you're someone who wants to promote, I'm asking you, and I can send a picture of this so y'all know, like, because I know this is like a lot of information going in at once. I'm going to send a picture of this in the team chat as well. But this is just to give you vision and clarity, and also give you a strategy of knowing, okay, where are places I need to start? And this is going to help you break down this week on what exactly you need to do in order to make your promotions happen. I keep saying our team is going to go presidential, but in the back of my mind, I don't know exactly how all the moving parts are going to work. But I know I'm going to chip away at it one at a time. I know in order for us to even promote to presidential is I have to get y'all's visions there. Okay. So that's my first plan. So that's clarity. And that's what the first step is in this. Okay. So that's what this team Zoom is about tonight. So now that I have that marked off, I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm like, okay, connectedness, bring the past, present, future together. And I'm going to break it down into steps like that. So you can look at this and be like, okay, what do I need to do? And if this totally goes over your head, that's okay too. But we at least know that we have a stepping stone or a start to know where to go next. I want this team to go presidential, but more importantly, I want each of you guys to actually do the things that y'all say that y'all want to do on your dream board. I want all of y'all to promote to Ruby and Executive and Emerald and things like that. But it's like you're going in circles over and over again. I feel like I've been going in circles over and over again for the past year and a half because we haven't promoted to presidential. But it's a necessary step in order to, I don't know, I feel like this team is better than we've ever had in my entire business. So I'm just really, really excited for this. But I feel like some things need to happen. So some things fall apart for a reason. So if you're someone who maybe was in a promotion position and now you're like, well, crap, nobody's working, or it doesn't look like I want it to, or whatever, just choose to wake up and start again tomorrow. And that's what I've had to do multiple times, but I can tell you every single day, you have to choose something. And so choose tomorrow to have that vision, to have that passion, to have that character behind what you want to become, to have the goal setting behind it, to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable by shouting out those goals, and bit, by piece, you're going to see those things come together. You don't have to have it all figured out. And this is kind of where the spiritual side comes out in me. But I pray every single day before I start this business, and I'm like, you know what, God? I don't know where to start. I know my basic six list. I just don't know what to do from there, is how to lead these people to where they need to go. So I just need you. I just need your help step by step. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. As there's like a Bible verse, but it says, if you worry about tomorrow, tomorrow already has its problems of its own you need to worry about today. And so that's actually in the back of my mind. I have it on the my wall behind me, because it's just so prone to me. Like, I'm just like, okay, why would I worry about tomorrow? So if you're already worrying about your future promotion, you're like, how will I even get 3 distributors? Just focus on one. Just focus on one. And then just do it again. And then just do it again. And then you're going to see yourself just organically promote anyways. So if you have any questions about your promotions, please ask me, or please ask your enroller. But I think that I needed to set the tone tonight to know that, number one, you have all the tools necessary to even promote in the first place, meaning you have all the tools to be able to complete the 6 lists in your business every single way. You have all the tips to be able to put a post and to get messages out and to enroll distributors and customers and things like that. You have those basics, but maybe the next step in here in your business is to work on your mindset, is to know, okay, now that I have the tools, number one, I just need to apply those. And secondly, I need to work on my mindset to know that I am capable of creating this happen. I am capable of actually making this happen. And then just going step by step by step by step. And then this was actually one tip that I was going to talk about too really quickly. And it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about now. But I've had a lot of people, I've been like asking people, I'm like, hey, what self-development are you doing? What self-development are you doing? Because normally when I can talk to people, I can get the vibe that someone's either doing personal development or they're not. And I've had a lot of people say that they've been reading this one certain book. And it's not like everybody's reading the same one. I've just heard people say, oh, I'm reading this book. But maybe it's a book that doesn't apply to you in this very instance, or you feel like you just bought this book, so you have to finish that book. Y'all, there are so many personal development tools. You know how many times I switch up books? That's why I literally have and I have a full Audible, okay? This is why I have all of these, and I have Audible. I am constantly switching up how I feel. My emotions are like up and down, so I'm constantly switching out different books that I'm reading. So I'm pausing, going. Don't feel like you have to stick to one book, one personal development tool, because you just bought it and you need to finish it. I get that not everybody wants to spend $16 on a book every time, so you don't have to go buy books every single time. You can go on YouTube and look up different like sermons. You can look up different motivational videos. You can look up books on YouTube. I actually, before I buy books, I go look up on YouTube to see if I can find the Audible version. That's just my cheap side coming out, but hey, it works sometimes. I know that You Are a Badass is on YouTube. That's completely free. And then there's podcasts. So make sure that you're like filling up your cup in areas that you need it. So if you, one week you're like, man, I'm really going through like depression. I'm really going to depression. Okay, this book's good for this. Okay, well, and then the next week you're going through anxiety. Well, sometimes people say those go hand in hand, whatever, but maybe go look up something for anxiety. Okay, well, now you're just focused on self-confidence now. Go look up another book. Not all those are going to tie in hand. So make sure you're switching it up so your cup is always filled. Because let me just tell y'all, I'm listening to a book right now that I got on Audible. I'm not vibing with it. I'm not feeling it. So I'm just like, I stopped listening to it because I'm like, okay, this is not like what I needed in this moment. So then I just picked up a book that I've been reading before. Okay. So it's always going to switch back and forth. But hopefully that kind of helps with that, because I had heard that a lot. And what was I was going to go over one more thing. Oh, okay. I talked about how I don't want y'all to like stop and go with your goals and promotions and things like that. So in order for that not to happen, obviously we've talked about all these things going hand in hand. I'll send that picture of the book, is find a pace. And what I mean by pace is this business can get so dang addicting because it's so fun. Like, I literally love what we do, to the point where I feel like I can be on my phone for like this for 5 hours working nonstop. I really do sometimes, okay? And I've had to learn, even on my good days, I need to set myself apart away from my phone to give myself like a peace of mind, to make sure I'm not burning myself out. So I'm already preparing myself for like things outside this business. So make sure you're making a joy list, because even in promotion seasons, you'll hear like people push and push and push and push. So they're on their phone more, they're doing a lot more. But you also hear in promotion season, sometimes people make the mistake of burning themselves out. Obviously, I've done this multiple times, so I'm like telling y'all from a personal place of peace of mind. Just please listen to me. Don't do it. But you can be so passionate about something that you burn yourself out on it, and then you lose the passion for that. In order for you not to lose your passion for this business, please make sure you're like juggling out your time and days. I had someone tell me last week they were getting discouraged because their significant other was telling them that they were on their phone too much. I never want that to be a scenario for you and your significant other. I never want your significant other to be abandoned or feel abandoned, or your family members or your kids feeling abandoned because of this business, because this business is a beautiful tool. But make sure that you're using it as like time sections or whatever. Make sure you're not burning yourself out because your phone is blowing up, because host post is blowing up. Still give yourself time away from that. And if you're not taking the Sabbath, please, Lord, sweet baby Jesus, take one day off a week where you don't even have your cellular device. I was with my best friend yesterday. She stayed with me all weekend. But she takes the Sabbath too, the same exact day, but she was on her phone the entire time playing games. I personally don't even look at my phone on the Sabbath. Okay. I don't even have it near me. I let it die because I'm just like, I just need to wait for my phone completely. So that's when on Sundays, I literally wake up and I am pumped for this business. I wake up and I'm like, all right, ready to go. I'm so excited, and it's because I give myself that day off, and I'm talking about full day off, sun up, sundown. Don't look at my phone. Don't even look at to set at a timer. Like, I don't do anything with it. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. I feel like I just needed to talk about that because as we are preparing for people promoting, and all of y'all, I really expect y'all to promote. I'm not even like lying about this. I really, really, really am praying over this. I'm believing that each and every single one of you can make a promotion happen. But with that being said, I just don't want you to burn yourself out. I want you to have passion. I want it to carry over from this month, next month, the summer, the winter, repeat the next year, the next year, the next year. I don't think any of y'all are just in this just because, like, I think a lot of y'all are in this for long term. So I might be wrong, but I feel very confident because I've talked to every single one of you and I know your goals. So anyways, I really hope that y'all use these tools. I will send the picture of the book, which I just lost it. I don't even know. I'll send the picture of the book of what I'm talking about. And if any of this went over your head, that's okay. Like I said, please let me know. It was a lot of information, but this is going to kind of be your guide on how to help you promote. And then all the other things are going to be helpful too, like me working with you, your enroller working with you, whatever, one-on-one with your promotion. But this is going to kind of give you clarity on step-by-step on what to do if you do feel lost. Because if I'm telling you, if I showed y'all the presidential chart of what it looks like right now, all y'all would be like, how, what, where, huh? Like, that's me. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's just going to happen. So I know that I just needed to break it down in these simple steps, and it really helped me kind of get clear tonight on my vision. So if you need help, let me know. If you need those tools, if you need the recordings from the last weeks, if you weren't able to get on, like I said, I've literally gotten good feedback from almost every single one of you from those Zooms. So if you weren't able to hop on, please go watch those recordings. They were very valuable with tips. And the Boom contest, y'all are doing amazing. I'm very, very proud of y'all. So keep doing it. Keep showing your screenshots of your stories being posted, of your messages being sent. Again, if y'all are doing those and you're making a habit out of those, I just know that y'all are going to win. Y'all are organically going to have your promotions happen because you're being consistent now. You're taking that action and being consistent and setting that pace for yourself, not to burn yourself out, but just to be consistent and stop breaking promises to yourself. So hopefully this helps.